Hi, hello everyone! Test drill ulit tayo sa subject na agricultural extension and education. Okay? Number one, the first activity of extension work for intervening. Is it informing people and local officials? Is it asking for budget? Is it organizing people in the interveners agency? Or is it to formulate objectives? So ano daw, kung ikaw isang extensionist, and you will intervene. Ibig sabihin nun, papasok ka sa isang community to promote an advocacy or to help them out in their problem. Ano yung pinakaunang activity mo na gagawin as an extension worker? So the correct answer there is pagpunta mo sa community, you are going to inform the people and local officials. So why is this the first step sa extension work natin? Because informing people and yung mga local officials nila creates these three benefits. Unang-una, you are building an awareness na nandito ka sa community para tulungan sila. Pangalawa, you are there to gain some support. Kasi kung may project ka na gustong ipa-implement sa kanila, gusto mo makabuild ka agad ng rapport sa kanila that you are trustworthy, you are credible, so that people here will support you kapag in-implement nyo na yung project. And pangatlo is to understand their needs. So, although you have some project in mind na gusto mo sanang i-implement, kailangan mong maintindihan yung kanilang pangangailangan. Unang-una, maaari kasi na yung project mo hindi akma sa pangangailangan nila. Therefore, kailangan mong i-revise yung project mo. Or kung akma man, maaari na kailangan mo ng konting adjustments para mag-fit sa way ng kanilang pamumuhay. Kaya kailangan mong pumunta doon, you inform the people and local officials that you are there, that you will be conducting an extension work in order to build awareness, gain gain support, and understand the needs of the community. Why are the other choices wrong? O unang-una, asking for a budget. Hindi yan yung pinakaunang gagawin mo if you are going to enter into a community to intervene. So funding is very important, of course. Pero this typically comes after initial outreach or after going there and informing the people and local officials. So itong step na to, it cannot happen effectively without first being there, understanding yung needs ng community, and informing them that you will be helping them or promoting a project within their community. How about letter C? Organizing people in the interveners agency. Ayun, yung organizing of this agency, uh, yung pag-organize ng mga tao that will be directly involved in your marketing, in your extension work is essential para ma-execute yung intervention mo. But again, this occurs after you have go to the community and ask them what they need and communicate sa kanila, humingi ka ng feedback and to gain their support. So organizing people in the interveners agency kasi means you organize people doon sa extension agency mo, not organizing people doon sa community. Letter A, informing people and local officials means organizing people in their community. Or how about formulating objectives? Setting clear objectives is a vital step in planning any intervention or extension work. Pero para makapag-set ka ng objective sa mga tao na nasa community, kailangan alam mo yung pangangailangan nila. Kaya nga, isa sa mga goal of going there, informing people and local officials, connecting with them, is to gain their support and identify yung kanilang pangangailangan. Kapag na-identify mo na yung kanilang pangangailangan, then pwede ka nang mag-formulate ng objectives. So that is why letter D is also not the correct answer. Ang pinakaunang activity talaga ng isang extension worker to intervene or to enter into the community is to inform the people and local officials about it. Next question. Napakadali lang nito. The principle of voluntary education. Voluntary. Ibig sabihin yan, walang pamimilit. Ikaw bahala. Kung gusto mo, all goods tayo. Ano daw ang ibig sabihin nun? Is it participation with coercion, participation with compulsion, participation, freewheeling participation, or participation with lukewarm attitude. So, ang tamang sagot ay letter C, of course, di ba? Freewheeling, kasi nga, voluntary, hindi sa pilitan. So, yung principle of voluntary education, ini-emphasize niyan na pagdating sa education and extension work, dapat ang participation ay voluntary or freewheeling. Ibig sabihin, yung mga individuals na may interest doon, libre silang umattend, hindi sila napipilitan. So itong principle na to, very crucial to in terms of effective learning and sustainable development. Kasi dito, totoo rin to sa psychology, ano? Hindi mo mababago or hindi matututo ang isang tao na hindi willing magbago or matuto. Okay? So, ulitin ko, hindi mo mababago or hindi matututo ang isang tao na hindi naman willing matuto or magbago. Kapag may nandun na yung willingness, mas madali na lang baguhin yung kanilang attitude. Pero kapag wala yun at pinilit mo lang, kahit na anong gawin mo, hindi mo sila mababago. So, importance ng freewheeling participation is unang-una kapag yung mga farmers na to voluntarily nakiparticipate sila doon sa pinopromote mong education, nagkakaroon sila ng internal motivation. Isa yan. Pangalawa, nagkakaroon sila ng sense of ownership doon sa kanilang educational journey. Kumbaga, they are owning it na, interesado ako dito, gusto ko talaga tong pag-aralan. Pangalawa, you get better outcomes because of these two. So, mas okay yung outcome niya kasi hindi mo sila pinilit eh. Voluntarily, they are motivated, they are owning their educational journey, and therefore, they are learning more and they are becoming better without you forcing them. Bakit mali yung ibang sagot? Kasi for example, participation with coercion. Ang ibig sabihin nito, individuals are forced to participate. So, opposite siya ng voluntary. Same is true with participation with compulsion. Yun din ang ibig sabihin niyan. Compulsion means these individuals are being forced, they are pushed to attend this educational what do you call this events sabihin natin. How about participation with lukewarm attitude? Ito, it suggests indifference or lack of genuine interest na hindi naman yun yung goal ng freewheeling participation. Again, ang freewheeling participation nga is the fact na you are participating because you're interested dun sa dun sa bagay na gusto mong matutunan. Kaya hindi dapat lukewarm yung attitude mo if you freely participated. Dapat ang attitude mo, mainit ka. Okay? You are excited, you are aggressive to learn. Participation with lukewarm attitude ay hindi nangyayari sa isang freewheeling participation in education. Kasi pag sinabi mong lukewarm, it is suggesting na, indifferent ako, wala akong genuine na interest, pero dahil sinabi sa akin, pupunta ako. Hindi yun yung gusto nating mangyari. Next question. The purpose of piloting technologies are to confirm and demonstrate the feasibility of a technology, to gauge end users' reaction to the introduction of technology, letter C, to identify potential problems related to wider adoption, or all of the above. So ano ba yung purpose ng pagpapilot ng technologies? Ano ba kasi ang piloting of technologies? Ano ibig sabihin nun? Kapag sinabi natin, we are piloting the technology, mayroon kang technology and gagawin mo lang siya in a small scale area para lang makita ng mga farmers. So instead of going all out, i-implement mo na yung technology sa buong community, ang gagawin mo, pipili ka ng small area doon and doon mo ipapilot, doon mo ititest yung technology ngayon para makita ng mga farmers yung magiging effect niya and para ma-assess mo rin kung ano yung kailangan na ma-adjust doon sa technology na iyong pinopromote. The three major purpose of piloting technology is unang-una, to confirm and demonstrate yung feasibility. Why? Minsan kasi yung mga technologies na pinoprovide natin sa mga farmers, madalas yung mga technologies na yan, they are created in laboratory setting. So, ibig sabihin, sa loob ng laboratory sila ginagawa. Now, iba yung environment sa loob ng laboratory and iba yung environment sa community. Kasi sa loob ng laboratory, pwede mong kontrolin yung environment mo. Sa labas, hindi. So, sabihin na natin, nag-work yung technology sa loob ng lab. Pero kailangan mo siyang ilabas doon sa mismong community para makita if nag-work din ba siya. Yun yung purpose ng piloting. Is it feasible? Is it demonstrating the same effect na nakita natin sa laboratory? O baka naman nung inilabas mo siya sa community, hindi siya nag-work. Because for some reason, may mga environmental factors doon sa community that blocks or prevents your technology from working correctly. 'Di ba? So, yun yung isa sa mga purpose ng pagpapilot ng technology. Pangalawang purpose niya is para makita natin yung reaction ng end users or ng ating mga farmers. Kapag nilagay natin yung community na yun, ay yung technology na yun, gusto natin yung acceptance, makikita natin sa mukha ng mga farmers. Or gusto natin makita na madali lang sa kanila para gamitin yung technology. Pero kapag yung farmers mo, prinomote mo, pinilot mo yung technology, and nakasibangot sila, nagkakamot sila ng ulo, ay mukhang may hindi maganda sa technology na aking pinopromote. Kailangan mo na ngayong ayusin. Doon na yung third point natin, which is to identify potential problems. Kasi kapag pinilot natin in a small scale, kapag nagka-problema, at least in a small scale lang. Imagine nyo, yung technology, prinomote nyo siya sa buong community at saka tapos nagka-problema, edi mas malaki yung gastos ngayon para masolve yung problema na yon. Pero dahil prinomote lang natin siya sa maliit na area, kapag nagka-problema doon, mas madali siyang solusyonan. Or kapag may nakita tayong problema, iisipin natin, paano kaya natin i-improve yung technology para kapag fully implemented na, wala na yung ganitong problema. So yan yung three major benefit of piloting the technology na pinopromote natin sa ating mga farmers. So given this discussion, the answer for this question is all of the above. So letter A, B, and C, yan yung tatlong main purpose or benefit ng pagpapilot ng technologies. Number one, to confirm and demonstrate the feasibility of a technology. Number two, to gauge end users' reaction to the introduction of the technology. And letter C, to identify potential problem related to wider adoption. Next question. What is the role of extension? Mali. The role of extension is to connect the gap between, so is it extension to connect the gap between academe and farmers? To connect the gap between community leaders and industry, between market system and consumer system, or between the research system and client system. So, pinaka-role ng extension work is simply to connect the gap between the research system and client system. So, unang-una, isipin nyo na lang na ang pag-flow ng information or technology papunta sa farmer ay nagsisimula yan sa iyong mga researchers or sa ating research system. So para mag-flow yan sa iyong client or sa iyong farmers, kailangan nandyan si extension. Yan yung role natin as an extension worker. So kung ang major mo is extension work, ang role mo is to simplify yung mga ideas, yung mga technical ideas sa research para kapag i-deliver na siya sa iyong mga client, sa iyong mga farmers, na iintindihan nila. Kasi yung mga ideas or findings na nakukuha natin sa research, medyo technical yan. Hindi yan basta-basta naiintindihan ng mga farmers. Naiintindihan yan ng mga scientists. Kasi may pare-pareha sila ng jargon na ginagamit. Pero sa mga farmers, foreign yan. So, kailangan nating i-translate yung result para maintindihan ng ating mga farmers. Yun yung isa sa mga Yun yung isa sa mga purpose ng extension worker. Pangalawa, kailangan yung mga technology na napopromote na nagagawa that is being created under your research system, kailangan niyang mag-adapt doon sa context locally. Kasi yung mga technology sa research system natin, ito yung example lang kanina about piloting. The technologies might work inside the lab, but it might not work kapag nasa environment. Kaya kailangan, kukunin natin yung technology sa research system and aalamin natin kung ano yung possible adjustments na pwede natin gawin sa technology para makapag-adapt yun or maging applicable siya doon sa local setting ni farmer. Pangatlo, naggamit kung bakit tayo naging bridge, kung bakit bridge ang extension worker, is that we will be creating a feedback loop na tinatawag. So, ibig sabihin, si research system magbibigay ng technology sa farmers or sa client natin, pero si client magbibigay yan ng feedback pabalik kay research system regarding the use of its technologies. So, itong feedback loop na to, yan yung magiging information, yan yung information na gagamitin ni research system para mas lalo pang ma-improve yung kanyang technology so that it would appeal and it will be used and it will be adaptable doon sa pangangailangan ni farmer. So, the correct answer here is letter D, between research system and client system. Now, why is letter A wrong? Between academe and farmers. Actually, ang academe natin, yan ay part ng ating research system. Pero, ang academe ay isang part lang ng research system. May mga research system na hindi academe. Like for example, yung PhilRise, yung IRRI, these are government and non-government institutions. Hindi naman sila academic institutions, pero under pa rin sila ng research system. So, medyo sobrang specific itong choice na to that makes it wrong. Okay? And pangalawa, yung farmers. Farmers is only one type of our client system as well. Ang client system natin will be composed of farmers. It will also be composed of youth and housewives as well. So isang part lang siya ng client system. Kaya yung pagiging specific ng option A makes option A wrong. Now, how about letter B, between community leaders and industry? Now, this connection, this is valuable. Yung pag-connect natin sa mga farmer leaders natin, let's say, and sa industry, mga private organizations. This is very valuable para magkaroon ng development sa kanilang negosyo or sa kanilang way of life. Pero hindi ito yung primary role ni extension worker. Okay? Pwedeng support role niya yan. Makahanap tayo ng firm or private business na tutulong sa mga farmers. Pwede yun. Pero isa lang yan, parang support role lang yan ni extension worker. Ganun din ang letter C. Market system and consumer system, these two things is very important sa farmer. Si farmer na nagpo-produce, dapat ma-connect siya, for example, sa market system or sa mga consumers na bibili ng kanyang produkto. Pero hindi ito yung role, yung main role ni extension worker. Kasi ang main role ni extension worker is to connect information between two parties, your research system and your client system. Next one. They are realistic replicas of real things. O, di ba? Napakadali. Realistic replicas of real things. Ano kaya ang tawag doon? Replica ng mga totoong bagay. So, ang tawag mo doon ay model. Okay? Now, models, these are used mostly in extension education. So, for example, you are introducing the effect of, let's say you are introducing the effect of a fertilizer sa halaman, you can create replicas ng mga halaman, either that be image or probably molded na replica or model na magpapakita ng effect ng fertilizer mo sa halaman na yan. So, what are models? Basically, realistic replica or representations of real things. So, for example, this is the Earth. Gumawa tayo ng model, which is the globe, right? So it represents, it simulates kung ano yung kung ano yung totoong bagay, it somehow simulates. Hindi 100% for sure, pero it is enough para maintindihan natin or mag-grasp natin yung concept. And it also provides a good visualization. Lalo na sa mga farmers natin na mostly sa kanila hindi marunong magbasa or magsulat, kailangan nila ng models para mas matuto. Kailangan nila ng tangible objects na mas nakikita nila kung ano ba yung information na sinasabi natin sa kanila. Kaya, ang tamang sagot dyan ay models. O, objects are what? These are tangible items. It can be real things, pero it does not replicate anything. Specimens naman, yan ay actual examples of real things. So for example, nagpe-present ka sa mga farmers ng different varieties of corn seeds. Tapos may mga seeds ka doon na kinuha mo sa IRRI, iba't ibang variety, nakasupot, and nakadisplay siya sa isang malaking cardboard. These seeds are specimens. Hindi sila replica of the real things, but rather they are the real things itself. Pero example sila nung real things na sinasabi natin. So, examples of plants, examples of animals, examples of minerals, these are all specimens. Flaps, this is something not related to agricultural extension, pero I think yung flap na tinatawag dyan is probably yan yung educational material na ang style niya is para siyang malaking notebook na kung saan pwede kang magsulat doon. So for example, yan. So meron kang malaking notebook na ganyan. So pwede kang magsulat dyan or mag-drawing dyan. Tapos ito, fini-flip mo siya. So yan siguro yung flaps or baka flips ang tawag dito. Okay? So yun. So it's not a realistic replica of real thing but rather an educational material. So yun, for this question, the correct answer is letter A, models.